The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure buried in a field, which a person finds and hides again. Out of joy, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant searching for fine pearls. When he finds a pearl of great price, he goes and sells all that he has and buys it." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Today's Office of Readings has the story of St. Ignatius's discovery of faith, shall we say, what some might say his conversion. And in his own words, in his autobiography. And it strikes me that what was going on in that bed of painful convalescence from his war wounds, when Ignatius wanted something to read, and what he really wanted was tales of valor and chivalry and things that could really fire up his imagination, but all they had was lives of the saints and the life of Christ. And so he read them. And they fired up his imagination in a way that was just totally unexpected. And as we know the story, the good feeling of reading about tales of worldly valor was wonderful while he was reading them, but they left him empty. And reading about Christ and the saints was wonderful while he was reading them. He rather enjoyed them unexpectedly. I'm sure he was surprised by it. But what he had to reflect on, as we know, is that deep inner experience that stayed with him after reading those holy books, shall we say. And I can't help but think that Ignatius's wounds and his painful convalescence from those wounds was like the field in which the treasure was hidden. And it was only in that convalescence and being given those books, which was all they had, he couldn't get what he wanted. And not being able to get what he wanted was kind of like discovering that hidden, buried treasure. That perhaps unwillingly he was digging and comes upon it and discovers the joy of it. I can't help but think there is a real connection, even though your community was not founded by St. Ignatius, but a real connection with yourselves, because your charism is to deal with people's imagination, to give them, enable them to have the tools and the input in a variety of media to fire people's imagination, to allow the field of their lives to discover the hidden treasure of the Lord's presence. And so this gospel is really a meaningful one for you because, in a sense, you are providing that field. So perhaps as we move into the Mass, think about all of the people who are going to be touched by the Pauline family today in any way, and make them a part of our intention that what the Lord did in St. Ignatius's life, we may be instruments of doing in some way in people's lives, those whom we meet.